Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. I hope you're having a great day. This is going to be rushed because it's supposed to get about 3 days of rain here coming up. And I need to get this in. There's no way in the world I'm going to be able to finish it completely, but I don't want an absolute mess, so I need to get somewhat of a grade on it so that water will run off, so it'll dry out. So once it stops raining, I can get back to work. Now, if you're checking in for the first time, you're going to say, dang, he just rototilled it to loosen that ground up. Why in the world are you going back over it with a cultipacker and packing it back down? Well, that's simple. You see this stuff right here? That was some old sod right there that was out here. And I'm getting ready to seed this down in Bermudagrass, GCI Bermudagrass out here. And I'm gonna reel mow it, so I need it super duper flat and super tight. And I didn't want this stuff up on top, so I rototilled it to bury it, to look, bury it, get it gone. But you can see I still got a little bit left up here, so I'm gonna pack this back down, pack it down tight, and then I'm gonna take the power rake and skim over it, and I can take the power rake and just lightly comb and cut all of it over there to the woods or something, get rid of it, and then I'm back to where I need to be, which is bare dirt. So if you're watching new, that's kind of why I'm having to do this extra step, is I wanted to bury the sod or the old grass and get back to brand new dirt. Well, not brand new dirt, the dirt's been here for a while, but you know what I mean. Alright, so there you go. I ain't sleep tonight. And the reason I ain't sleep tonight is because I think your water's going to run off of it. We're supposed to get 2-3 inches of rain in the next 3 days. And that kind of brings me up to a question I got from my buddy Michael. Texted me earlier today and said, hey, I'm supposed to get 1.5 inches of rain or 2 inches of rain. I just put down, you know, this, my biocement, my Carbonex or my hybrids. I just did all this stuff to the yard, and I'm supposed to get a lot of rain. What do I do? Well, ain't a dang thing you can do about it. So sit back and smile, relax, take a chill pill. It's gonna be all right. Now, what I mean by that is, once you apply your product, if it pops up and you get 2 or 3 inches of rain, there's nothing you can do to stop that. Nothing. You can't snap your fingers and make it rain go away, right? You don't have that kind of power. But what you can do if you're ever in that situation is, after the rain's gone, watch the yard the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days once the rain stops, and see if there's any change in the yard, meaning a better change. See if you get a little color pop and, you know, all that stuff that you typically would get from fertilizer. Look at the yard and make sure that happens. If it don't, might want to reapply. I don't know. I personally don't reapply. Once I apply something to the yard, and if we now let me back up a little bit. First of all, I'll watch your weather. I got an app on my phone. I check it every single day. Of course, I think something I put down 2 or 3 days ago or a week ago, and it hadn't rained, and all of a sudden it rains. You know, some things you can't. What's a good word? I'm trying to figure out how to word this and not be confusing. You can only see the weather so far into the future, right? And so if you put something down, dry spell, and it rained, you know, a lot of rain, you know, a week after, 10 days after, where you couldn't see it coming, yeah, it is what it is. There ain't nothing in the world you can do about it. Now, if you're anal about the weather and watching the weather like I've been with this, I knew it was going to rain, so I had to jump on it and get it done quickly. And my main thing was to get it firm back up, get it semi-graded so all my water will run to that corner over there, and I just don't get a big washout. Of course, there's no grass seed or nothing down, nothing but dirt, so any rutting or anything like that, I can fix it because I'm gonna grade it next, fine grade it once it rains and dries back up. So on that fertilizer stuff, you know, try and time your fertilizer and your bios and all that around rainfall or irrigation cycle or whatever. Once you've applied a fertilizer, a product, and you've watered it in really well, like a couple of good soaking waters with the irrigation, man, the rain ain't gonna bother that stuff one bit. Ain't gonna mess with it one bit, I'm telling you. Been doing this for a long time, and I honestly cannot remember a time we had to go back and reapply a granular fertilizer, no matter how much it rained. I mean, do you realize how much it would have to rain if you have a yard that's semi-flat? It would have to rain and flood up, and the water would have to trickle through all those grass blades, and all the little pebbles would have to float all the way through all those millions of grass blades. It's just, I just don't go for that. Washing away. My fertilizer washed away. I don't go for that. Use liquid, use the adjuvant, and you ain't got to worry about that, right? I'm pretty tickled with this right here for right now. See, I got pretty much, let's go look at it. You can see I got pretty much all of the stuff out. There's a little piece here and there. I'm not too concerned about that. Chances are, right before I actually spread the grass seed, I'm gonna probably come out here with I'm probably gonna come out here with a hand rake, a leaf rake, and rake up whatever's left of this stuff. Because again, I'm reel mowing. If I weren't gonna reel mow, I probably wouldn't be worried. But if that was tall fescue going back here, I wouldn't even sweat that. Wouldn't even think about it. You can see over here at the wood line, this is where I put all that stuff at, because this is gonna be back behind some bushes and stuff like that, and I ain't worried about it if it's up here in the woods. And then I pushed some up in the woods over there. And I had a little hump right here in my driveway, so I cut it all clean so it's a good even flow from up there back to the rock driveway. I got rid of that little bump that was right here. And I pretty much made my mind up. Thank you so much for all the cool comments. I kind of had an idea that I wanted the natural area right here, but I wanted to get some feedback from y'all watching and just to see what everybody's idea was on it. But so I'm probably going to go ahead and make this area a bed, 6 foot wide bed. And one thing I didn't tell you that helped me with my decision was I don't like mowing around this pole, okay? And you see where the old dead grass is? That's going to be my cutoff. It's going to kind of taper. And the driveway, when we widen the driveway, we're going to bring the driveway out a little bit. And so it's going to eat this corner up and then taper back in and go right down through here, hang a left. It'll kind of curve around, and the bed's basically going to outline the entire yard here. Woods, rock, and what do you call that? Parking lot. So I think it's going to look really cool when we get done. So how do you deal with a lot of rain coming in a renovation? Well, you do what I just did. You bust your butt and you get with it and get the job done. I've got it fixed to where the water will drain. That was my only concern right now. That's kind of the way I improvise. You know, you improvise all the time in many different ways when you're dealing with rain. When you go shopping and you come out from the store and it's raining, what do? You go get an umbrella. You improvise. You went and got an umbrella to compensate for the rain so you don't get wet. Well, obviously I ain't got an umbrella I can put over this, but I can fix it to where I leave it so I can pick right up when I get back to work. Of course, that's probably going to be about 3 days, because I think we're supposed to get 3 days solid of rain, so yay. Now what happens after I do this and then we get some big time rain? Well, it ain't nothing in the world I can do about it, right? Nothing in the world. Even our company here, we do renovations in the fall for fescue. We don't guarantee against the weather. I mean, we don't have that kind of power, that kind of control. So we put it in our contract or agreement with the client that, hey, big bad thunderstorms, rut the yard up, mess the yard up, we are not responsible. And I'm not gonna be responsible for something that I can't turn the light switch on and off and make rain come on and off. And it just makes no sense to me. So something like that happens, you just deal with it. After the renovation, you hard work, spend a little more money if you have to, get out there and get it done. What happens a lot of times, people wait, put it off, and then they get way too late. And I'm speaking fall renovation. They wait and it gets too cold and they can't fix it. Man, when you see that weather hit and you see that rut in the yard, it's not gonna magically fix itself. Meaning you get out there and you fix it right away and get the job done and then get back on it with your water. Same thing here, if we get some major thunderstorms or whatever, once I'm done with this, I will immediately jump out there and fix those spots and level it up, put a little more seed on it or whatever. And I don't let the grass grow under my feet, not unless it's GCI turf grass, right? So what we'll do next right here is once the rain goes away and it dries back up, we'll walk on this. We'll come out and we'll map the irrigation out, lay the beds out, show you how all that's done or how I prefer to do it. And then I guess we got to put an irrigation system in, right? So we'll show all that and get that done. And then my final prep on the yard, once the beds are drawn out, laid out, and the irrigation is in and working and functioning right, I'm gonna probably bring in, I know I'm bringing in a load of compost. It's a real finely ground compost from a company not too far from here. I'm gonna ask them, can they mix it about 50-50 sand compost. The only reason I'm even wanting to do that is so I can get a perfectly butter smooth as a baby's butt finish. That's what I'm going after. And that sand and that really fine compost will allow me to do that. And I'm not dealing with little clods here and there. I know it's probably a little over the top, but I'm kind of like that for the most part. I'm anal about some things. When I say I want this thing flat and perfect, I want it flat and perfect. I don't want to accept, I'm not going to accept anything else. So that's why I'm using sand and compost. So all right, I'm ready to go in here and answer a bunch of emails, and I will appreciate you watching, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. I'll check you later.